Would you be surprised to know that some of the most successful women of our time face challenges just like you and I do?
Hi, I'm Amber.
And I'm Lisa. We're authors of the book Leading Ladies. Discover your God-grown strategy for success.
We invite you to join us in an honest, messy bun conversation about the things we'd rather keep hidden in our lives.
Some of those things can keep us from moving forward in purpose.
So grab a cup of something delicious, kick off your shoes, and hang out with us for the next 30 minutes. Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Chat with Amber and Lisa. We are so excited today because we are talking about being a difference maker in those little and big ways that you can make a difference. You know, I know for a lot of us, we don't go through our day thinking, I'm going to be a difference maker today. It seems kind of weird to think that. But we do have a lot of little things that we've had people do for us that have definitely made a difference in our lives. Sometimes we don't even think about that very much until we really have to think about it. Lisa?
Yeah, exactly. When I think about people who have made a difference in my life or differences that have been made, the first thing my mind goes to beyond those parental figures and grandparents is teachers. There were many teachers in my life that saw something in me and chose to hone in on that thing and encourage me. I think about my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. O'Brien. I still think of her to this day. She passed just a couple of years ago. I think about my middle school teacher, Roseanne Gargata. She was an amazing woman who taught literature and different cool history subjects on occasion. And I think about my music instructors. Starting in middle school, I had the most amazing little choir director who realized Lisa could sing in several different octaves, in several different ranges. And she would take me in a choir concert and sing me soprano this song, alto this song, tenor this song, and rotate me, wait for me to move between each song. You think about people like that, and it's not that they necessarily had to do what they did. They made a choice to do what they did. They saw that here was this child, and they decided to pour into them. And it did make a difference for me.
I know for a lot of parents that they have the kid maybe that it causes trouble at home, or it does a lot of times when you're close to someone, it's hard to see that sometimes it's hard to see the good things. But I really appreciate the teachers who even write notes to me, and they send them. Occasionally I'll get a letter in the mailbox. And it's those moments that really somebody sees the goodness in my child.
Those are pretty special moments and helps you out with just even being, sometimes we're not feeling so warm and fuzzy about our own children. Sometimes we can get under each other's skin, but those moments really help. Yeah.
I remember one time where we were having a birthday party for Penelope at Brahms, and she saw a little friend from her class, and he wasn't at the party, but he came into our little party room, and he said, I just want you guys to know, and he was so little, that Penelope is always the kindest person in our class. She always makes it an effort to be kind, even to the people who are mean to her. And I was like, here I was at this really strange moment. This little tiny kid just really impacted not only I was in tears, but Penelope. You never know what small word can actually.
In those moments you realize you've done something pretty special. Hopefully you go, I must have done something. God has helped me to instill something in my child that is showing.
Yes. Lisa, as the vocal coach for KC Superstar, which is like the American Idol of Kansas City, you get the opportunity to speak into a lot of lives.
You do. Obviously, I enjoy what I do. And as a vocal coach, just across the board, as an entertainment coach, part of why I love what I'm doing is being able to encourage and instill self-confidence in people. It's one of the most reciprocal things. I get something back. I get
Mhm.
something back when I see them blossom and bloom. And that's not the sole purpose for doing it. I think the sole purpose for doing it is just wanting to make a difference. When people come in, some people come in full of confidence, sometimes over the top. And there are those moments where the human side of you might say, you don't want to say anything to them. It's going to go straight to their head. I can't be that person. When I see gift to be where they are, I have to be honest with them and say, you've got an amazing gift. You've
Mhm.
got an amazing gift. And the task then in that scenario becomes you try to build relationship. And sometimes we put off an air of maybe being really overly confident or being cocky because we do have some defense mechanisms going up. And in that case, it's all about relationship, trying to build relationship with these people and helping them understand, yes, you have a special gift. What are you going to do with it?
Yes.
How are you going to approach people throughout life in a way that they will receive from you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes our hard exteriors keep that from happening. It's also an amazing time just to see people who have a really sweet gift, but they're very shy and introverted, and you just want to see them kind of blossom through that. It's a
I
great opportunity. But so is, we talk about this, how do you make a difference? So is just walking through the grocery store and making it a choice to look up and smile and say hi when you catch someone's eye.
yeah.
That's also a small thing that we can do to make a difference.
I know when Philip and I walk around the pond over here in the mornings, I don't know, I get energized when I'm seeing faces that I see every morning and I'm saying, hi, good morning. How are you doing? And joking and opening the door for other people to connect, to feel like I acknowledge them. There's some really amazing older women and men out there who are in their 70s who are like jogging around that place. I'm like, good night. I hope I get to your level.
Right, right.
And I think a lot there's a lady that just basically she has a very swollen foot and she limps her way around that pond. And
Yeah,
I think she's just so inspiring. And I had to tell her, I said, you know how inspiring you are just by getting out here and doing what you do. I
yeah,
said, you're such an incredible person and make me feel like, you know what, it's possible.
right.
And to see her face light up when I said that, it just made me feel like maybe this is the first time she's been acknowledged for
Well,
her.
this is where our conversation turns a little bit, Amber, because you're giving her a word of encouragement, but the reality is she has spurred you on by example for weeks. She's inspired you for weeks. That's what this time that we get together and talk to women about is all about. What is it that others do to sometimes inspire us to step out, take the next step, keep going? The book, Leading Ladies, it's all about women being willing to make a difference. Recognize that the difference that they can make can start out very small. It can be just within their inner circle. We all have the ability to influence, to inspire, to call out the gifts in someone else, and to even sometimes help equip them for what they need to step into their potential.
Yes.
So, this woman even called you out to be someone who could make a difference by brightening her day.
Yeah. And she didn't know that I was watching. And that's the thing about making a difference in people's lives and being mindful about that is sometimes you recognize something that or inspire somebody who inspires you, but you never verbalize it.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, this is something that I'm doing in my life. Maybe I felt I was lacking purpose, but this is something that people took notice of. It was something really small
Right.
that people can take notice of.
One of our dear friends, Linda Goldfarb, she popped in to see us here this morning. Good morning, Linda. Linda says inspiration can become organic as we go about our day, speaking truth and encouraging the lives of those who we see every day. And
Yeah.
that is so true. That is absolutely true. We don't realize it is organic and it doesn't have to be something big. We wanted to talk about one of our contributors who is going to impress everyone with just her significant chapter. We have some things we want to talk about. You want to introduce our person
Yeah.
we want to discuss this morning a little bit?
Yeah. My dearest friend, Jacqueline Marushka, who was the first woman VP for Sony Provident. And the first time I saw Jackie, if I would have been so caught up in the outward of she seemed pretty untouchable. But then when I really got to know her and her heart and her just dirt and her dirt story, and as I've gotten to know her over the years and her love and her desire to help and her efforts in her Nashville community, it just really took me to a new level of understanding with her and how she was raised from a very young age that the small things really count. The small things really make a difference. And I know from a very young age, she was taught basically you leave things better than you find them. That's a way we can make a difference. Yeah. You invest in others, you be a light, you be kind. Those things are where we see that there may not be significance to someone who she says she still takes the shopping carts that are in the middle of a parking lot and just puts them together and puts them back where they belong. People take notice in those insignificant things. And it's something that you see beyond the title of I've represented all these people of various famous people. She walked the red carpet at the Academy Awards, the Grammys, and such. And this is real impact. This is real impact.
From the very basic bottom line part of who she is. She had these things instilled in her at a young age. So Amber, in all honesty, I think we all have gone through life. Either we've encountered someone that's just related to us in a way that we've been so inspired. You were sharing a story with me about someone in college that not only saw you, but changed the trajectory of which direction you were going in.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
When I was growing up, even though I grew up in a Christian household, my mom and dad had a pretty more relationship that was toxic. And so I felt I spent my life being not seen, not heard, not causing trouble. But what I didn't know is one of the ladies in our church who happened to be one of the journalism professors at Evangel College where I went, she had her eye on me, not in a creepy way. And then when I started doing journalism in junior high and high school, she would come and visit me at my school. And she would encourage me. And she's, I think you're so good at what you do. And I ended up going to Evangel because of Mrs. Shirley Shedd. She is such a dynamic woman. She directed my life in so many ways, and she kept me persevering. I remember going into a lot of my journalism classes, and especially this one where I just felt like I was in tears because everything that I wrote was being slashed, basically bloodied. I know all of you writers can relate to that out there. I just felt like when things felt like they killed my spirit, she always reignited my sold. And she saw in me, I was the news editor for the Lance, the school newspaper. And she said, you really are great writing like news features, which is different than just straight news writing. And she said, I think you would be great in magazines. Have you ever thought about magazine writing? I said, no, I didn't really think about that. And so she steered me that direction. And then when I graduated from college, she actually even arranged for me I heard this job opportunity to work for the youth magazine for the Assemblies of God. I think you'd be a great fit. So
Oh,
she really advocated for me for my
wow.
first job,
Yeah.
which that's really incredible. And it's something that I like to do for even my interns that I have. I have a lot of interns from Evangel, and love I love it actually that a lot of my interns have a higher job description than I do. And it's not about job descriptions. It's really about investing so much in what other people's giftings are and then giving them an opportunity to
Right.
operate in those giftings.
Right.
And then if you see something special, you pass it on. You light and with people to get them the jobs that they desired that they need. And I'm like a proud mama of all these journalism
Right.
students from Evangel
Exactly.
because who've gone on to do big things. And I never take that type of influence lightly. My job is to multiply difference makers. I
Right.
just really take that as a part of my series. This is who I am. This is what I'm called. Writing a magazine is writing a magazine. But when I can multiply difference makers,
Yeah.
that is purpose.
That is purpose. It's pretty amazing. It's funny because this is a two-sided situation. As someone who influences and makes a difference, we have to be willing to invest. We have to be willing to step out and speak into other people. We have to be willing to share and share our resources. It takes a bit of vulnerability, but when you do it, it can make quite an impact. Looking at your own life, look how amazing that was. At the same time, I even look at being someone who receives that person who's making a difference by speaking into us. We have to be courageous. We have to be open and receptive and be willing to try on for size some of the things they're speaking into us. As
Yeah.
children, we don't always think twice about that.
Mhm.
Like I said, I had teachers. I had a sweet middle school teacher who recognized I had all sorts of notes I could play with. And she would take the time to push me to widen and broaden my voice. I had to be brave enough to do it, brave enough to be the little girl that stepped over to the boys' side and sang tenor, and as well sang with the sopranos. So it's even as adult women, we have to be willing to make an impact, make a difference, but also be willing at the same time to receive from those who God puts in our life to speak into us, encourage us, and pull us up and into standing where God has designed us to be.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting for a little project for the week is if everyone thinks about the difference makers that have been in their life, those significant difference makers, write it down on paper. And I know that, have you ever shared how much someone has made a difference in your life with that person?
Reached out to them, touched
Uh-huh.
base with them. I even think about some of those teachers from when I was very young that I remember. They made this imprint on me. Are they still living? Would I be able to let them know today how what they did helped me? It would be a great assignment for the week. I think that would be something we should all try to do this week. That would be really cool.
I think that the more that we focus on verbalizing to others the way that they inspire us, we speak life into them. And you never know what you can ignite just by speaking the truth of what people have planted in your life. Even those people who you may not even talk to. I know we have a lot of people who we have connected with over Facebook that we were friends with back in the day. We didn't even know that they knew who our name, let alone anything. And I just think sometimes even those, when you did this for me, it really encouraged me and affirmed. I'm just really thankful for you and being in my life.
Exactly.
And that plants
I think it would be cool just to look at the definition of the word potential, because in order to speak into someone, we don't have to see them already refined and full.
Yeah.
We just have to speak to the potential in them. Potential just simply means having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. Basically, latent qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success or usefulness. That's an easy thing to find in someone. I even look at my strongest willed child and recognize their stubbornness and their defiance as someday when they grow up, they are going to know what they stand for and they're going to stick to their guns. That is potential. Channeling it for the good, right?
Exactly. I think we're probably running out of time here.
What we want to remind you is, number one, we are still waiting on our journal to officially launch. So there is still time for you to join our launch team. And you just go over to Leading Ladies Street Team. And we would love you also to go over to our Facebook page, Leading Ladies Life, and like that page. We are also up on our podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, you name it. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a review. We would love you guys to do that.
We love you guys. We pray that you have a great week. Bye-bye.
Take care. In a world that often tries to confine and categorize, best-selling book Leading Ladies, discover your God-grown strategy for success. Celebrates the diverse tapestry of women just like you and their unique journeys of faith. Join Lisa and I as we partner with over 30 women from every hue, age, and walk of life, united by one mission: to let Christ shine through our gifts, wherever we are. Within the pages of Leading Ladies, you'll find a wealth of wisdom, inspiration, and practical guidance. These women share their personal stories, triumphs, failures, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Leading Ladies is more than just a book. It's a movement, a call to action for women of faith to rise up, support one another, and make a difference in the world. Together, let's celebrate the strength, resilience, and faith of leading ladies from every background and be inspired to let Christ shine through your gifts, wherever you may be. Leading Ladies, discover your God-grown strategy for success. Available now wherever books are sold.